A nickname like Tex comes with many expectations. Tex Moncrief doesn't disappoint. Out here minding his gas wells on the dusty roads, the name fits just fine. W.A. Tex Moncrief was actually born in Arkansas in 1920.
I was born on the kitchen table at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they say I weighed about 13 pounds.
When he was 10 years old, he stood in a huge crowd gathered around his father and his partners celebrating their discovery. They had struck oil in the famed 6 billion barrel East Texas field near Longview.
They were wading around in the slush pit, hollering and being happy. And my mother was there with me, and I tugged on her coat and I said, "Mother, when I grow up, I want to be an oil man."
When he was 14, his parents drove him to Indiana to enroll at Culver Military Academy against his will. They didn't give Tex much chance to argue. They sneaked away the next day before he'd woken up.
Well, the next morning, I was alone, and I thought I was going to die, but after about a week, I got over my homesickness. I really have to admit I love the place.
At the time he was considering colleges, UT was one of only 3 petroleum engineering programs in the country. Tex earned his UT degree in 1942. As World War II was coming to an end, he was lured into the Navy. In the summer of 1945, Tex was actually on a ship headed for the ground invasion of Japan. But the atomic bombs dropped, the war ended, and Tex headed home to Fort Worth instead. Within weeks, Tex was working deals with his dad.
I learned everything about the oil business from my dad. I mean, without him, I don't know what I would have turned out to be.
Tex will tell you there's no separating his success from that of his dad's. They drilled more wells together than they can count, operating on a handshake for more than 40 years. His dad was still making deals the day he died, and Tex hopes to go the same way.
There's nothing like drilling a well and just hoping that thing is going to hit. And if it does, there's just no excitement or feeling of happiness like it.
This wildcatter has seen his share of thrilling days. Many have come with his son Charlie at his side. In fact, all 3 of his sons have taken on some role in his business. Even his grandson is on the same path, learning the ropes as an independent oil man.
Well, I've just tried to ask my boys to be like my granddad. They all knew him and live a good, honest life. Be fair and square with everybody. Don't be greedy.
Tex and his wife of more than 60 years, Deborah, have focused most of their philanthropy on health and education. Along with several hospitals and other schools, a good portion has been shared with his university. Tex has endowed 3 chairs and recently gave an $18 million gift to the Institute of Computer Engineering and Sciences. Gifts to the athletic department helped build the Moncrief Newhouse Athletic Complex and the new addition at Royal Memorial Stadium. As for having his name on such prominent facilities, Tex is proud. It's how this life member of the Texas Exes shows his love for his university.
You're damn right. I'm proud of being a graduate of the University of Texas.
Truth is, it's difficult to imagine anyone who's benefited more from their education. Even 60-plus years later, Tex still uses what he learned in his petroleum engineering classes. Tonight we honor a Texas Ex who has lived the dream of a Texas oil man and generously rewarded his university for the part it played in his success.
It gave me a great education. It's a great school, and I learned things there that I might not have learned at any other university.
Tex Moncrief, a distinguished alumnus of the University of Texas at Austin.
must look the same. All my old friends seem to recognize me, even though they look quite different to me. But you know, when I came in tonight, that Marcia Gay Harden over there put her hands on my arms here and said, "You sure do look good." And man, I hugged her and gave her a kiss on the cheek. And I mean, she looks better and better. I know most all of you have heard people say about other people, they sure are lucky. Or maybe you've even said to yourself, you know, the harder I work, the luckier I get. If you've ever heard that, can you sort of wave your hand at me? Well, I see that's just about everybody. Well, I sort of knew a fellow named Seneca, Seneca. He was a Roman philosopher. Excuse me. A Roman philosopher, and he said that luck happens when preparation meets an opportunity. Well, I have always wanted to be an oil man since I was 10 years old, a Texas oil man. And when I came to college, only 3 schools, Pennsylvania and Stanford and Texas, offered petroleum engineering. Naturally, I came to Texas, my home state, and far away the biggest producer of oil and gas of all the states. And they had a pretty good football team, won about 8 or 9 games out of 10 or 11. Like they do now, won about 10 or 11 out of 12 or 13. But thanks to that Oklahoma victory last week, we may get up to number 12 this year. I sure hope so. Anyway, I did fine here at Texas till my second year, and I qualified as number 3 man on the Texas Longhorn golf team. But I'd played so doggone much golf and fished so darn much in the Colorado River that my grades were too low and I was ineligible. So I told my daddy I thought I'd quit school and be a professional golfer. And he like to shook the teeth out of me and said, "My boy, you may have a beard to that floor, but you're going to graduate." And I did graduate without a beard, and I've still got my teeth. And when I got that degree, I was prepared. And I went to work with my dad, and we ran across opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And old Seneca was right. Luck happened and happened and happened and happened. And as a result, I've had a most successful career as a Texas oil man in the most exciting business in the world. And I sure urge you young parents out there, be sure your progeny get a good education. If they need a little shaking and a few harsh words, let them have it. It won't hurt. I've been wondering, it took me 66 years to reach this plateau of distinguished alumnus, and all the people that run these Texas Exes say, "You got 3 minutes, you got 3 minutes." I said, "Jim Boone, what in the hell did Bernard Rappaport do?" He said, "Well, Bernard used about 15 of those 3-minute speeches to get into well over a half-hour lecture to us, and then he got in to his acceptance speech." But one thing about old Bernard, if you got through all those words, he had a lot of words of wisdom at the bottom. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've flat enjoyed being here, especially seeing you, Marcia Gay. And I really want to thank you very much for this very, very heartwarming honor. Thank you.